Hey, all right. It is Deadman's Tome podcast, a show that's broadcast live from a trailer park deep in the heart of Meth County, Texas. This is a show that YouTube hates, a show that YouTube completely demonetized because the content is sexually gratifying. I don't know what to do with that news. I don't know how to feel that apparently some people are getting off to my face, getting off to my voice. Apparently, I'm not making this up. This channel has been completely demonetized for that reason. Am I a hot chick? Do I have a nice rack? Do I have a nice ass? I don't know. Shit. God damn. Am I even a good looking guy? God damn. But anyway. Tonight we're talking about Bone Tomahawk. We'll be getting into this movie, giving my review, my thoughts about it. And you might not like it. I'm going to let you know right now. You might be upset with what I'm going to say, but first, I got to talk about this clown real fast. You see, on the last live show I did, it was a very quick show. It wasn't a formal podcast episode. It was me just starting up a stream and talking. I do that every now and then. I want to do some fun. I want to have some fun and talk about a particular post on Twitter that got my mind, got my interest. A little post by a particular person named Brooklyn Dean, another author. I'm guessing she's a feminist. A post called Men Are Trash. Another episode of Men Are Trash. Are men trash? And you decide. Well, I commented on this, on her post, where what she does is, are men trash? Meaning, are all men trash? And she shows screenshots of what I thought was Instagram. But apparently, I learned something. That's not Instagram. That was Tinder. That was Tinder. I didn't know what that was because I don't use Tinder. I'm a married man. I have stability in my life. I don't have to worry about getting dates or any of that garbage. If I had to worry about that now, holy hell. God damn. The scene looks like a bunch of thoughts. It looks crazy. Crazy. Anyway, but it makes it even worse. I thought she was upset that some guy had a nerve to try to hit on her on Instagram. And she was like, I don't know, making a big deal about it. It wasn't like a dick pic on a Facebook Messenger or something. It was some guy just trying to chat you up, trying to talk to you. No. It gets worse. What she thought was a defense was, those messages couldn't be deleted because I thought she deleted some. It looked like the guy was having a conversation with someone, but the messages weren't all there. She claimed it was Tinder, and you can't delete your side of the message on Tinder. I don't know if that's true because I don't use Tinder. Why would I? But even if that is true, it's hilarious to me that you have some woman who is on a dating app complaining that some guy tried to hit on her. You can't make this up. I mean, you could. It's kind of like the chicks at the bar who get offended, who are bothered by when a guy tries to talk her up. What? You're at the bar by yourself or with your girlfriends? How was I supposed to know you're a lesbian? You know? Come on. Oh, maybe she was bothered because he tried to hit on her and maybe his way didn't work with her. Okay. You try it. You try to be a dude and try to hit on chicks. You try to be a dude and have that line or try to start a conversation. It's not as easy as it seems. And definitely when with women like you. Anyway, let's get into the heart of the show, the meat of the show. Bone Tomahawk. Okay, first off, the first time I watched it was the other night, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. When I first started watching it, I liked it, but then it waned, and I got bored. Okay? I liked it at first, but then my interest, it lost me. I was getting bored, and I had to stop it. I was so bored, I stopped it, because I wanted to go to bed. Not like I had work in the morning or anything, because, lockdown and all that. What does it matter? I'm working from home. But just I was bored. I was just going to go ahead and go to bed. And I resumed it, and I'm glad I did. Because boy, oh fucking boy, the third act is just fucking awesome. The third act makes the kind of boring moments of the second act worthwhile. So I haven't seen it all. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is a good film. This is a good film. And I think what made the third act work so well was the journey, was the second act, was the sort of buddy movie, the hangout movie that the second act kind of becomes. But right from the start, this movie gets you. And if you don't believe me, this movie, just fire it up. Just fire it up on whatever streaming service it's on. And right away, this movie starts off with buzzing flies and a throat being cut. I mean, the movie you're about to watch is going to be a wild ride when that is the start. And a really well shot movie for, I believe it was the first time, directorial debut of let's see, S. Craig Zahler. Anyway, so it has Kurt Russell, Patrick Wilson, Matthew Fox, Richard Jenkins, Lily Simmons. Hot. It's what you think. It is a Western. It is a Western. It has a horror element to it. I think the horror element kind of comes in the beginning, and then more so at the end. The beginning of the film, like I said, it starts off with the buzzing flies and throat being slashed right there. But you get that Sid Haig there, which it's Captain Spaulding. Great to see him there. I mean, you're for a wild ride again when you see him. It's going to be crazy. And you're going to get a nice taste of horror when you see him, right? You see Captain Spaulding there. So, you know what? Let me go ahead and take a shot for him. Let me see, Maker's Mark or Kraken? I'll go, you know what? I'm going to go Kraken on this one. I'm going to release the Kraken. All right. Anyway. Let's do this. And here we go. Anyway. So yeah, it starts off. You got Sid Haig and David Arquette. They robbed, they killed some travelers. They're on an Indian burial ground and all that. Okay. It just so happens they hear some people coming. They try to hide out into the woods, or not the woods, but hide up into the hills. So that's when they find the Indian burial ground, and they stumble upon some troglodytes or something. All you see of it is kind of like a shadowed. It's blackened. It's hard to see, but it guts Captain Spaulding. It kills him right there. Guts him like an animal. Slays him. David Arquette runs away. Some days later, some days go by, and he arrives at a town called Bright Hope. Lovely, lovely town. Bright Hope. Things are getting fucked up in that town with that. Look at that name. Bright Hope. Wow. Okay. What could go wrong with a name like that? So you have your Kurt Russell, right? Of course, Kurt Russell's playing a character he's played before. The sheriff, the town sheriff, right? From Wyatt Earp, countless other westerns. He's like the western guy. Hell, he was in a Hateful Eight the same year, right? You get Kurt Russell if you want to have a good western, it looks like. He delivers it. Like when I think sheriff, when I think small town western sheriff, I think Kurt Russell. Yeah. which he's not so much like a Wyatt Earp type of character in this. He's more downplayed a bit. He is the town sheriff. He takes responsibility and he is ruthless. He just shoot the drifter in the leg when he tries to run away. But that's small town western justice right there. You got a drifter coming in. He probably killed someone. He's not answering his name. He's given a fake name. He tries to run away. Bam! Shoot him in the leg. All right. We'll try to interrogate later, but we might have to hang him. He might be a dead man. So he is ruthless, but he's the law man. He has to keep justice. He has to keep the law, and that requires doing, getting your hands dirty and all that. Okay. So that's what happens. The drifter gets pegged in the leg. Now, one thing I want to say here. Around this time in the film, you get a little bit of Patrick Wilson's character, the horror dad. Patrick Wilson is the guy. You've seen him in all sorts of horror films. What I think Insidious, in the Tall Grass. What else? He's in all sorts of horror movies. He's like the guy you get. Anyway. Patrick Wilson and his wife, hot doctor, nude and banshee, hot blonde. No, you don't get any nude scenes of her here. The closest thing you get is a sex scene. You get side boobage. You get this. This is what you get. I could show this on YouTube, I think. This is what you get. Nice. Very nice. In fact, you know what? I'll just go ahead and leave this here too. I'll put Lily Sims there. I think that would be much better. Anyway, but the problem here was with the Patrick Wilson's character. He's a foreman, a construction guy, whatever. But he has a busted leg. His leg's busted. Is a broken bone. He can't walk with it. He has to stay off of it. He has to keep it, bundled up so it could heal. Okay. And he spends time with his wife. It seems kind of cute, whatever. But there is a part where they ask for the hot doctor to go to the sheriff's place to treat the guy treat the drifter who just got shot in the leg. Instead of really showing that scene, they show a little bit of it, but then they cut back to to Patrick Wilson reading some very lame poetry. And then next thing you know, is his hot wife, the deputy, and the drifter are just gone. They're just gone. They've been abducted. And there's an arrow in there, so they assume that it's Indians, of course. Okay, it makes sense for the time. Makes sense, sure. But my thing is, why the hell would you focus on some lame, dumb poetry when you could have showed us like what happened? Like, I guess you could try to make the argument to build suspense, but we already know it's Indians. We already know it's some native shit going on because we saw Captain Spaulding get gutted by one. So, and we saw one around this time, kind of lurking in the stable, and just killed a stable boy. So why would you, instead of focusing on an intense scene, focus on Patrick Wilson reading poetry? I thought that was pretty fucking dumb. It was bad too. I was like, cringe. Now, there's another character that's introduced around in the beginning. Matthew Fox's character, Charlie Salinger from Party of Five, Jack Shepherd, Lost. Yeah, you know the guy. His character is pretty interesting. It's kind of like a Doc Holliday. A Doc Holliday with a little bit. It's been a while since I've seen Tombstone, so I don't remember Doc Holliday being really racist there in the movie, but a little bit more of a bigot. But it makes sense for that time. It makes sense for what he's gone through. Actually, a very pompous character. Thinks he's very intelligent. Has a inflated sense of ego. Dresses all white. You think he's going to be the hero of the day. He acts like he's going to be the hero of the day. We're introduced to him. It's clear that he wants really nothing to do with the townfolk, that he thinks he's better than them, but he's going to go out and help them anyway because in his mind, they need him in order to survive. Because what they want to do at this point, Kurt Russell, the backup deputy, you have, of course, Patrick Wilson, and then Matthew Fox's character, they want to go out and, of course, go rescue the hot doctor and the other people that were captured. Why not, right? Go find them. They get a little bit of information about where to go and what to look for by the professor. They call him the professor in the town. He's a Native American guy who kind of shares his wisdom on the matter. And that's where Matthew Fox's character kind of shows his, I guess you could say, indifference towards any Native American, how all Native Americans are the same. And the professor quickly stops him, saying, these aren't his people. These are troglodytes. These are cannibals. These are people that will kill their own mom. These are horrible people. They're savages. It is around this time that so it started out okay. Seeing the write-off, you have that traditional Western feel to it. It does seem like a very classic movie in that regard. I did like that, but certain things of the film started coming up that I just didn't care for at all. I guess, before I get into what I don't like about the film, let me just continue on focusing on the positives here. I like that the characters have depth to it. The characters are not as one-dimensional or stereotypical as they might seem. Yeah, you do have Kurt Russell playing, once again, a sheriff. It's like he's done this a number of times. It's like you've seen this before. But he's not the Wyatt Earp badass, especially when he's compared with Matthew Fox's character, who's more of the gunslinger type. I guess you can kind of chalk that pairing with Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday, kind of, sort of, but not really. Doc Holliday was funny, was interesting. And what is that car alarm? There's a car alarm. Whose car is that? Whose car is that? Hold on. Oh, damn, it's the goddamn troglodytes. I don't know. Hell if I know. Neighbor's car. Shit. Anyway, but yeah, there's depth to the characters. It's not exactly what you'd think. Yeah, I mean, you do kind of see it. I was going to say. So Doc Holliday was funny. He has a funny moment to him. This Matthew Fox character, is not very funny at all. He has a few moments, yeah, but nowhere near as close. Nowhere near as close. Let's see. So I do like the depth of the characters, especially in the third act where okay, so these guys are very manly men. They take care of themselves. They know how to take care of themselves for the most part, except for Richard Jenkins' character, who's pretty much like, he's kind of like the grandma of the group, honestly. He's kind of like the bitch of the group. I mean, he's constantly complaining, constantly nagging, talking. Kind of annoying at times. But, you know, he's there for the ride. He's like, if you ever had that road trip where the guy just will not shut up, he's that guy. That's who he is. That's Richard Jenkins, the father from Step Brothers. That guy. But other than him, all the other guys are very manly men. They know how to hold themselves. They know how to conduct themselves. Very strong characters. They all have moments where they are butting heads and clashing over who is right and what the best choice is. It happens several times in the second act. That is kind of interesting. And they have moments where they're clearly compensating for their weaknesses. Instead of being vulnerable and letting the other guys see what their weaknesses. Sometimes they may lie about it. Sometimes they may bluff about it. You know, it's just compensating. That happens. And that becomes, well, that becomes kind of why they fell. That becomes a weakness for them. You see, in the third act, when our heroes finally find the cave, they think they have this down. They're gonna raid it, or they're gonna come up with a strategy to, take out the Indians. But immediately, like suddenly, the action just erupts. Like in the way it hits you, you're not expecting it. There's no build up in the music. There's no build up in the tension. It just hits you like that. And I love how they did that. In fact, I love the sounds. I like how they did the sounds in this film. It's great. It really stands out. Very, very good. Very good. Because quickly, in that quick moment, within seconds, you have the strongest guy in the group, Matthew Fox's character. All of a sudden, he lost a hand. He's maimed. He's bleeding. He's wounded. He's about to die. He knows he's going to die. You have Kurt Russell and Richard Jenkins being dragged by these Indians, being tossed around and dragged like they're nothing. Not just dragged, beaten up, beaten down, and dragged. Like, and these were going to be our gunslinging heroes, right? And quickly, they're taken out. Now, Patrick Wilson's character, the guy with the leg, what made the second act so hard to watch? So, I think, really, when I look back at it now, I don't think it was so much boring. I think it was me not wanting to watch Patrick Wilson go through so much pain. You see, they're going on a journey, right? A very far journey to rescue some people. Well, Patrick Wilson has a busted leg. They lose their horses along the way. They get stolen, so they have to walk the rest of the way. So he has to walk on a busted leg. And the experience is very, very painful. And to make matters worse, Kurt Russell's character took his opium that he had. At least Kurt Russell thought he did anyway. Apparently he had a little bit on him later on the trip. But it was a very painful, the way Patrick Wilson's a pretty good actor, I'd have to say. I mean, the way he portrayed the pain, the way he carried himself with the injury, it seemed very real. Like You don't think he's gonna make it. This guy is at death's door, is on death's door by the time our other main guys get beaten up, slapped around, embarrassed, and then put into a cage. Like, you were not expecting at all for the gimp, for the cripple, to be the one who saves the day. But yet he is. When you think he's gonna die of dehydration, he's out of water, whatever, he just looks like he tapped out. All of a sudden, when the native guys, when the troglodytes, tries to get the jump on him, misses, and I guess apparently that character is a good sharpshooter. Bam, bam, gets him immediately. Okay, boom. Now, what really makes this third act horror, what gives it that horror element, is what happens when Kurt Russell and the other people are dragged into the cave. When they're in that cave, the movie shifts in tone big time. These troglodytes are not playing around. They are cannibals. And the scene where they take the deputy out. I like horror. I love horror. I watch a lot of bloody stuff. I was not prepared for this. I was not prepared for this. The way they did it, and the tone and the sound, I cannot understate the sound of it. And the POV, the way they did the camera, it was shot like from Kurt Russell's perspective in this, because it's like, you know, they're seeing it. The native guys, they get the deputy, take his clothes off, strip him down, put him down on his knees, hold him, and just scalp him. Just scalp him right there. Scalp it all the way. Take that, ball it up, put it in his mouth, then put him upside down. Carry him upside down, with the butt cheeks facing, the ass cheeks of the deputy facing Kurt Russell. You don't see the man's junk, but what you see is the native guy, the troglodyte, with some sort of weapon, some bone thing or whatever, just smash into his fucking crotch. Just smash over and over again. Like, I've done Saw. Saw's nothing. The torture scenes, nothing compared to this. I don't know what it is exactly. I don't know if it's the sound. I don't know if the fact that it was dead quiet in this scene, except for that sound. The focus was on the pain. The focus, it was like hyper focus. And the blood. It wasn't like this rich red like a lot of horror movies have. No. It was, in the way it came out, it wasn't over the top blood. It wasn't like Quentin Tarantino style, like spraying everywhere. No. It poured. It oozed down the body. And it looked real the way it flowed. And then they're not done. Apparently the amount of damage, pain they inflicted onto the trauma they inflicted onto the body, I guess, weakened enough to where they could just rip him apart, tear him apart, gut him like a turkey on Thanksgiving, just rip him apart, and his innards just fall out, just spill out. Ever gone hunting before? Ever gutted a pig or a deer? It looked kind of like that. That's how spot on it looked. It looked kind of like that. It just flowed. In the way the native guys, the troglodytes, did it, it was just another day for them. This is what they did. Routine. They did it without any questions, without hesitation. They just did it. They just did it. Great. Great performance. Great. I'm telling you, that scene makes all... Like, I didn't really care for the second act. Some people like it. It wasn't really my thing. Like I said, I thought the old man was a little too whiny for my taste. I thought his jokes were kind of lame, blah, 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 whatever. But that third act, and it builds on top of that, on top of the gutting of the guy. They cook him, they eat him. You don't really see him cook him, but you see him eat him. And it's funny, the native guy's just eating this chunk of leg as if he's not really enjoying it. It's not really his best meal, but he's just eating it, you know, whatever, just doing it at the same time. He's kind of looking at he's actually kind of eyeing the Lily Simmons. Of course, why not? Why not? Why? Kind of eyeing her. Supposedly, no, there's no like rape or sexual assault or anything like that in the movie. You don't have to worry about that. In case that would be like a hang up. That there's nothing like that in this film. Except for apparently this tribe. There's 2 women in this tribe. You hear about them and you see them very briefly. The 2 women are blind and crippled and are pretty much are pregnant. They're pretty much used as a fleshlight. You see them briefly when some of our people make out, or, you know, get out of the cave. And what you see is exactly that. You see 2 pregnant female that are they have stumps for legs, and their eyes have like barks wedged in them. Pretty crazy looking. Pretty crazy. But man, this whole act is wild. On top of the gutting, even before you see the native women, whether they're the fucking fleshlight women, you get of course, Kurt Russell's trying to come up with a plan to try to see if they can get out. Maybe try to, you know, poison the Indians with the little opium that they have. Maybe they could try to put in a flask of liquor. Maybe they'll drink it. The plan kind of works, doesn't work, backfires on them completely. Where they drag Kurt Russell out, start cutting into his chest. They put the flask, which was sitting on hot coals, into his body. Ooh, burns. Takes the repeater, aims it right on the balls, and tries to fire. It needs to be reloaded. He got lucky. They shot him once in the chest, and they're about to shoot him again in the balls, but that's when they had to reload. Wild. And you think he's gonna get out of it. You think there might be a chance, right? Kurt Russell's not gonna die. He's the hero. He's the badass. He's Wyatt Earp. He's gonna get out of this. You think he's going to? And the movie plays with you. You think there could be a chance. Around this time, you have Patrick Wilson's character is actually making progress, actually, slaying these motherfuckers and coming closer. Okay, maybe there's a chance. Nope, the Indian loads and he does fire. It doesn't really show whether or not he shot him in the dick or not, but he shot him. He shot him. Fuck a wild ride, man. Like, I have to say, this isn't like some cheesy horror film. I've been watching a lot of cheesy horror films, but giving it the Bob Briggs rating, 3 Bs, bodies, blood, and boobs. This doesn't even relate. Like, you couldn't use that with this. This does not apply. But this is a pretty badass film. But you gotta watch it all. You gotta watch it all. Let's see. What I didn't like about the film. I think I said that already. The walking was kind of, come on guys. How long are you guys gonna walk? It's like Lord of the Rings walking, just walking. Except with the crippled. Yay. And the old man was kind of annoying. Other than that, I didn't have a problem. I did not have a problem. I really did enjoy that the horror element was grounded. It wasn't some paranormal stuff. It wasn't about ghosts or anything. I thought it was gonna be zombie Indians or something. It wasn't that at all. It seemed pretty practical. I don't know if it's possible for people to like embed animal bones in their throats to create special whistles. I don't know. You know, I see some things that some tribes do in Africa to their body, freakish things, and so maybe, I don't know. Hell if I know. But it seemed possible. It seemed very realistic that something like this could have happened back then, back in the Wild West days. One thing I didn't know, I found out later, was apparently the cave that they used, the set for it, was the same cave they used in the Iron Man movie. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I just want to do a review of Bone Tomahawk. Talk about that for a little bit. Share my thoughts. Now, if you've seen the film, let me know what you think about it. If I spoiled it for you, I'm sorry. Look, even with everything I said, you have to see it for yourself. I'm that sort of guy. You could tell me how something ends, but it's not gonna ruin it for me because I want the experience. I want the experience. And if it's a good movie, even if some clown told you how it's gonna end, if it's a good enough movie, it should still have that impact. It should distract you from the hot goss that your neighbor told you, or some guy on the internet about how it ends. The movie should be so good you're not even thinking about that, right? And this is one of them, I have to say. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Guys, ladies, take it easy. Oh, and like always, feel free to recommend another horror movie. Have a good one.